Hello, man. Welcome to the Autism Rocks and Rolls podcast hijack series. Today, I have my neurocreative leadership coach, Rory Lemon. Mr. Lemon, how are we doing today?
Oh, I'm good, thank you, my friend Sam.
All right, my friend. Take her away and tell us about yourself. Tell us your story.
Oh, okay. All right. So, um, there was a time right back in my parents' living room when I was 16, waiting for my exam results, school results to come through, and I was like, "What's going to happen with these results?" I had no idea what was going to happen because the mock exams, all the sit down time based exams were a real struggle for me, like a real struggle to get all the information out there. And then there was a lot of exams that were, writing coursework, writing at home style stuff, which I could learn at my own pace. And I was getting really good results with those. But when I was in the actual sit down exams, I just could not explain what I knew in that time frame. It was really, really upsetting for me and frustrating that that was perceived as intelligent. And so I took away the knowledge of that I thought that I was more creative, practical, and artistic, and not assertive or communicative, or or especially like an entrepreneurial business type person. I didn't believe it, I was that at all, that I could be that. That I just went along being frustrated that I had a high level reasoning, pattern spotting skills, and I just could not explain them in language. So I just had feelings and intuitive senses of things, but couldn't explain it whatsoever. So I stayed frustrated with beliefs about systems and the institutionalized sense of intelligence, and I knew it was not true, but I didn't know how to explain it. And so I went through a period of psychosis in my early 20s because I I couldn't explain my emotions and was upset with mental exhaustion. But I reached out to my mother, and she, I was the only person, she was the only person that I could feel like I could reach out to and say I was really struggling mentally and emotionally. I was holding it all in, and anxiety loops were going round and round. I knew it wasn't real what I was thinking and feeling. I was holding onto a thread. Um, However, I couldn't, no, I didn't know how to get out of it, and it was breaking my sleep. I wasn't sleeping, my eye was flickering, and it was going round in a loop of not being able to sleep. Um, and I reached out to my mother, and she'd studied reflexology, which is a foot style massage treatment. So, but it's stylized for helping with health. And so I had 14 weeks, once a week, relaxation foot massage, specifically for helping me clear my stress and tension. And in 14 weeks, I was back to who I thought I was, from mental exhaustion and the period of psychosis. And I was like, I was in positive shock at how, because I couldn't explain that. And again, I didn't know how to explain it, the experience. It just didn't make sense. It would have been weird to start talking about stuff like that back then because that was in the late 90s, 2000s. So, um, back then you couldn't really talk about mental health very easily without it being something completely confusing. It was completely treated separately from the body and physical treatment. And so I wanted to help people with massage at that point because I thought I want to help people with this. This is incredible that I'm back to feeling better again so quickly, 14 weeks. And so I got into massage and I was doing massage for people to help with their stress because I knew that that was something I wanted to help people with. And then after 8 years, I was burning out physically. I had some osteopathy treatment, which helped with my RSIs and joints. And at the time, and I realized I had to learn something more efficient than just trying to do massage all the time. And all the while, I was studying music that was helping me, like guitar and DJing, and music was really helping me with my emotional connection and regulating my nervous system. So that now I realize is because of my sort of way I can sense and feel into things. So music, I can really feel it. It's vibrational, and I sense into it and feel it so much. And so it was really helping me in the background. And I would go and dance, but not know how to communicate in group conversations. Um, So yeah, I would be doing non-verbal communication and dancing at parties and having a lot of like, social anxiety and coming back away frustrated still, but I was not as bad as it was before then until years later, studying osteopathy, I insisted on a dyslexia test to help me get through the course because it was master's level degree, and I'd put off doing any kind of academic stuff from school because I just thought I'm not that kind of person. But I thought I'm going to have to learn something to help me and exercise that area of my brain and see what happens. And I insisted on the test because I didn't think it was. Friends basically suggested at points maybe I was dyslexic, and I just thought, well, what's the point in knowing? I know who I am. I'm more artistic, and I'm getting on with these things, and I'm doing all that stuff. But then, as soon as I could get the support to do the 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 academic training of osteopathy, which is manual medicine, manual healthcare to help people with their bodies more mechanically, more functionally, and more holistically than massage. Um, I insisted on the test and got qualified. I call it getting qualified in dyslexia because it's a piece of paper and it tells you all the skills that you are not so that I was not so functioning well with my brain function and where I was strong in my brain function. And so the dyslexia test results, whilst I was studying the neuroanatomy of the neurotypical brain, and I could see the difference, and that really helped me to start moving forwards with understanding myself a lot more. But I didn't want to stop there because I'd already healed from stuff. And I thought, well, if I can heal from that, what can other people do with their neurodivergence and their health conditions? And also, there's this sense of what else is possible to change beyond who I thought I was then, studying that. So my point being is that I did a personality test at the start of studying osteopathy, master's level, which I didn't know whether I'd get through it or not. And I studied it. And then 2 years later, I did another personality test. I'd gone from introverted to extroverted at the personality test. And that's because I was actually more extroverted, but I didn't know how to communicate. So I was frustrated. I love being around people. And actually, I'm more ambiverted because I need time alone and time with people in equal measure. So I'll go for a walk in town just to be around people without even needing to speak to them, just because it gives me a sense of energy. and to be around people. And then I'll come back and reflect and decompress on my own as well. And I love that too. I love solitary work and reflecting at home on my own as well. So it's just fascinating to see where that changed from introverted to extroverted, and a personality can change. And so that was something I was interested in as well. I was like, well, if that's possible, what else is possible? So when I say neurocreative leadership, I did a coaching training to help me somatically come out of my shell and start working with my ideas to help put my ideas out in the world rather than trying to work for other people all the time. And what I call neuro business strategy, neurodivergent business strategy, because that can be different for different people depending on their neurodivergent style and what their needs are to get business out. So I studied business phonetically. I've done music phonetically. I've done um, uh, massage and health modalities, holistic health fanatically, and now I'm looking into coaching fanatically. So, and that's becoming more like how to lead our lives as neurodivergent creatives. That's what I think is there's power in that. So that's where I'm like, what else is possible to change? And if I see that if that those that are frustrated and not sharing their message with the world and creating the businesses that they want as neurodivergent creatives, I think that the economy could shift over to so much through heart-centered neurodivergent creative businesses putting their projects out there and being supported in that way, people supporting that and buying into that rather than getting addicted to you know, other habits and sugar and uh lots of different things that people can get addicted to. They could buy stuff from neurodivergent creatives and be inspired by those things instead and learn from those people. So what those skills are can be taught back to other people. And I think that that is where we can start shifting sustainable business through those that are heart-centered, intuitive, and neurodivergent can step up and create businesses that mean that we don't have to work for other people and we can learn and grow together. So that's my story.
All right, Brad. I do have something for you. So, when you say neurodiverse, is there any way you were talking about with these people with autism too, or is that just something separate?
It's a good question. So, because there's neurodiversity, isn't there? So neurodiversity is the scope of all human brains, and how the way I describe it is that it's all human brains across the whole scope, and how everyone individually reacts and responds and learns in their own way to stimulus. So someone may react to loud sound and not like it, or some may, you know, operate really well by thinking about complex theory and designing stuff over time. And some people may be really good at being in the moment, and so all these personality types are linked to how the individual person reacts and responds. So that's the neurodiversity is everything from neurotypical, which is just what science finds. Neurotypical is a pattern of what is perceived as normal, and anything that's outside of normal is what I would call neurodiverse, because it's diverse. Maybe what I call neurodiverse is like someone that says neurodiverse, it's if the person considers themselves as thinking outside of the box compared to or differently to what is considered normal. So that's what I when I say neurodiverse, it's to do it's up to the person. It's up to the person whether if they're autistic or not, um, as to
Gotcha.
whether they consider themselves as neurodiverse or not. It's up
Right,
to the
that's
person.
fair. I do also know about your courses. Why don't you tell me about what you can learn if you decide to take those courses, or specifically someone who's watching this?
Yeah. Um, so the courses, what I would say is that if people resonate with my story and that they are similar, the courses are designed because they're based on how I manage and see the world and how I manage myself. So I've seen patterns in other people um, around autistic traits. I have not got an autism diagnosis, but my sister does, and I see autistic traits in some ways that I have for myself recognize, and also have what I see as neuro uh, uh, ADHD symptoms as well, and dyslexia is the one that's diagnosed in the center of this pattern. So um, I describe it as heart-centered or deep feeling, highly sensitive people that would recognize if they recognize themselves as that, then then most likely would get benefit out of my course if they resonate with my story and the struggles that I've gone through. So that my course is based on how I manage myself, and it's around having a way to de-stress in the moment and decide what to do next. That's my mini course. It's I call power stimming, is to deliberately stim rather than just do it automatically. So to power stim is to choose to stim directly to help calm the nervous system and then take it beyond neutral into choosing what to do next. And so that's part of the process of what I help is what I call, yeah, the radical reset technique is to reset from feeling negatively stressed and charged to come back to neutral first. And once neutral after a few minutes, then better decisions can be made based on feeling more clear and relaxed. When we're relaxed, we can get into a space of headspace of what is possible rather than when we're stressed as a demand to it's like either or do or die or run away or stress or fight or flight or and when we relax it's like, oh, I can have curiosity, or I can be creative with these decisions. So there's the neuroscience of decision making is what my mini course is about, and then my longer course is getting really more specific one to one the individual's challenges and looking at them, mapping them out, and seeing where the strengths are and working on the strengths and having those projects get those projects out there, getting those projects out there.
Right. You were talking about your sister being on the spectrum. Let's get into that a little bit. What advice would you give to other brothers who have a sister who is autistic?
Very interesting. I think, oh, that one. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think that's it's really I mean, my it's very unique situations, or everything's a unique situation. My sister has studied autism studies at master's level. So she's self-discovered herself as well as I have self-discovered through my own way too. So it's completely different situation to some uh, each situation is different. So brothers that have autistic sisters depends on the type of personality type. So some autistics could be more having more OCD kind of tendencies or more ADHD tendencies. And they can be different, or you can have them both together. So it's about personality. Though the advice I would say is to be okay with the the personalities of whoever's they are, and work with their strengths and see the strengths. When I say strengths, I mean look for ways to interact so that it doesn't cause more stress. So if there's some struggle, allow that struggle to not try to fight it, not try to fix it or fight it. Let it calm down. Let the nervous system calm down. It's again stress and negative emotions to sense into them what that feels like is stressful or not. Wait for the nervous system to be calm and then and then uh and then interact.
Well, all right. I think I agree with that. Plus, you're basically saying embrace their uniqueness in retrospect.
Yes, and see how honor the reactivities and the responses as well. Yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Lemon, thank you for your time. I hope you had a blast, buddy.
Cheers. Yeah.